All right, let's talk about something a lot of us deal with, but maybe don't fully understand: perfectionism. We're not going to treat it like some simple character flaw today. Instead, we're going to dig into why it might actually be a sign of a really unique, powerful mind. So, let's get into it.
Does this hit home for you? You know that feeling, right? Where the very thing that pushes you, the quality that helps you achieve amazing things, is also the thing that winds you up, stresses you out, and keeps you up at night. If you've ever felt like your best asset is also your biggest liability, then yeah, you're gonna get what we're talking about today.
And this quote just nails it. For some of us, the phrase "good enough" literally feels wrong. It's not just a preference, it feels like a compromise, almost like a lie. And it's not about being difficult or picky, it's just a fundamental part of how your brain is wired to see things. Okay, so let's start by unpacking that internal tug-of-war. Here's section 1, the perfectionist's paradox. It really is two sides of the exact same coin. On one side, you have the gift. This is your engine. It's what creates success, drives you forward, and leads to incredible innovation. But flip that coin over and you've got the burden, exhaustion, burnout, that constant hum of anxiety and self-doubt. The key thing to get is that these aren't separate. They're totally connected. You can't have one without the other.
So that begs the question, right? Where does this incredible, intense drive even come from? Well, that brings us to section 2, the engine of achievement.
And here it is, the big idea for today. What if this relentless perfectionism isn't some bug in your system that you need to squash? What if it's actually a feature, a signpost that points to a really unique way of thinking, what some researchers call a gifted mind?
Let's actually give it a name: gifted mind perfectionism. Now, this isn't just about wanting your desk to be tidy. This is a deep, innate drive to chase standards that, honestly, are often impossible. And here's the thing, it doesn't come from a place of insecurity, not really. It comes from a brain that's just wired differently. It's built to see the absolute ideal, the most perfect version of something, and it just can't let that vision go.
And that's exactly why it can be such a superpower. This kind of thinking is literally the rocket fuel for doing amazing things. It's what pushes you to innovate, to go way beyond what everyone else thinks is possible. Because for you, the conventional limits just don't seem like the real limits at all.
But, rocket fuel burns incredibly hot, and that power comes with a pretty serious and often inevitable consequence. Which brings us to section 3, the inevitable burnout.
And there's the paradox in plain sight. The very same engine, the exact mental wiring that creates these moments of brilliance and success, is the same one that paves a direct, non-stop highway to feeling completely and utterly wiped out. There are two destinations on the same train line.
So, how does this actually happen? Well, it's a trap, a cycle that looks something like this. First, you set an impossibly high standard. Then, because you're you work like crazy and get incredibly close, near perfection. But then, you don't focus on the 99% you achieved, you zoom in and fixate on that one tiny flaw. And that fixation is what leads straight to exhaustion and feeling like you've failed, which just kicks the whole cycle off again. Just think about that for a second. 99%. For most people, that's an A+, a huge win. But for the perfectionist mind, getting 99% of the way there doesn't feel like a 99% success. It feels like a 100% failure because of that 1% that's missing. That tiny gap becomes the whole story, and it just erases all the incredible work that came before it. It's a mental trap that makes it almost impossible to ever feel truly satisfied.
So, if this is just how your brain is built, what are you supposed to do? This isn't about finding a cure. It's about finding a whole new way to approach it. Let's get into that in our final section, understanding the gifted burden.
Okay, this is so important. The goal is not to get rid of your perfectionism. Honestly, trying to do that would be like fighting against your own operating system. It's just not going to work. The real game changer is to simply understand its dual nature, to see both sides. It starts with just observing, without judgment, noticing when that drive is serving you and when it's starting to drain you. Awareness, that's step 1.
This really says it all, doesn't it? It is both a gift and a burden. The challenge isn't to get rid of it, it's learning how to carry it. That means learning when to use this incredible tool and when to put it down. It's about knowing which projects deserve that 110% effort and which ones are totally fine at good enough. This isn't about lowering your standards across the board. It's about being strategic with your energy.
So we land here. This part of you,
It's not a flaw to be fixed, and it's probably not going anywhere. It's a core part of the engine that makes you who you are. But now that you can see it for what it is, both the amazing gift and the heavy burden, the power shifts. It's back in your hands. The question is no longer, how do I stop being this way? The real question is, how will I choose to use this? So, what will you do with it?